What's some juicy gossip you just found out in your personal lives? My uncle told my parents that he needed money because he borrowed from the Chinese mafia and they were threatening to kill him and his family or something. My parents sent him some money and then 2 weeks later he posted a pic with a new car. My barber got 2 different girls pregnant, neither of whom are his girlfriend. Prices have went up a little bit but the phone calls I overhear are worth it lol. Haha. Best thing I read now I go sleep. Why waste time say lot word when few word do trick. Maybe he set the whole story up so he could hike up the price for people who want a slice of the gossip. Some girl in our year at school posted on Facebook the other day how her boyfriend had supposedly cheated on her. They had a full-blown argument in the comments just on Facebook for everyone to see. Yesterday she posted a picture of some keys tagging her boyfriend in it saying, "Just bought our first house together." Oh my god. Becky. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. She spoke. I hate you. I loathe you. I hope that you choke. I hate you forever. I wish you were dead. ... Let's move in together. I love you, she said. What year is this? Well, that's not gonna last. We got a new boss like a year ago at work and we've been hating it. People are getting written up for petty shiz and suspended and losing their bonuses. I'm a good employee, but this stuff finally caught up to me too and I got written up for getting injured at work. Long story. I don't play. So where it said, employee comments, on the write-up I said, see attached, and typed out a 3-page defense talking about how I thought it was unfair and how I thought people had been getting treated unfairly for a year now. The next day I got called into a meeting by my boss. And his boss. And his boss and an HR rep so they could grill me about it. By the end of the meeting we had all figured out that it was actually the HR rep who had been screwing with people for a year now. And the anger shifted completely away from me and onto her. I went around and told everybody about it. We're going to make this bitch pay. Please make a post on some revenge or tales subreddit and link it here when this all comes together. I don't understand people like this. What did she stand to gain? I think she thought it was her job to come down hard on people and disrupt our work as much as possible. And the fact that she accidentally was having the blame deflected off her made it all the more easy. How did you guys figure out it was the HR rep? I was talking about how I didn't think it was fair that my boss kept writing us up for petty things and my boss's boss said it wasn't him, it was the new HR lady cracking down. My boss just delivers the slips. And he gets nervous when he does it so he smiles like he's enjoying it. I just found out that one of my work colleagues who just returned from an 2-week expensive holiday with his wife in Iceland has just found out his wife has run up about £50. Debt on numerous credit cards. Oof. That's a large amount. What did she spend it on? For a start she paid for her sons from a previous marriage university fees without telling him. One of the girls in our group of friends has never really gotten over her ex that left her 3 years ago. She will often bring him up when drunk and it has really hampered her dating life. He lives thousands of miles away. And today he posted a picture of him sitting with an attractive dude getting coffee. They are holding hands and their legs are touching. We were all sitting around the TV hanging out when she saw the picture. Shell shock is the best description for her face. Would this make it easier to get over someone? Always figured the idea of that person still being out there and available is what drives you crazy. But seeing how he bats for the other team now pretty much ends all that hope. It definitely did for me. In the 2 last years of high school, I was madly in love with a guy. We never had a relationship but we were close friends. I had feelings for him for months. Then one day, while we were gaming, he goes, "I have to tell you something," on voice chat. And told me he had feelings for a guy in our year. It was a soothing feeling mentally. There would never be a, yeah, but what if I was thinner? Smarter. Better looking. There would never be a what if with him. The guy liked dick and that was it. I couldn't change that about myself. My feelings abruptly stopped and I helped him get a date with the guy he mentioned. I was told that my great-grandfather kept the family farm in business by blatant and repeated acts of insurance fraud. Phew. I thought you were going to find a hidden slave shack at first. Nah. My great-grandfather was Canadian. I know a guy who got his friend to marry him so he can get a green card. Except his friend was already in a relationship. Not only did my friend get married, he also inherited a boyfriend-in-law. Now the three of them live in the same house. Are you sure this isn't just a sitcom you watched? Okay, but I think I would legitimately watch this if it was a show. Sounds like the start to a terrible sitcom that slowly gets more heartwarming before being cancelled after the first season. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I separated in August 2018. She decided to end the marriage because she concluded that I would never trust her after she had an affair for more than half of our 15-year marriage. We tried to reconcile for 2 years. During which time she repeatedly told me that she had changed and that she'd never lie to me again. But I kept catching her in lie after lie. Now, she is seriously dating a guy. Since at least December. And she's cheating on him with another guy. Remember folks, she has changed. Gotta remember, if they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. Ugh. This. I wish I could have a conversation with myself 10 years ago. I could have saved myself. And others. A lot of trouble. Long story short, I was friends with a married couple and ran off with the wife. 3.5 years later, I caught her messing around with my best friend. There's way more to this. But I don't have an hour to type it all out. My cousin has been together with his wife for 14 years and has had a girlfriend for just as long. Neither of them knew about the other. He got caught because of an image on Facebook. His wife's sister posted a family picture which my cousin was in and got recognized by his girlfriend's sister's acquaintance. He got away with that for 14 years. My dad got away with it for 15 years, but technically my mom knew she was the mistress. The wife didn't. I'm always amazed when I hear stories like this. Like how TF do you have time to lead 2 lives and not have them mix? I barely have enough time to see my BF. No idea how I could take on another relationship. And how do you respond when they want to meet your friends and family? My neighbor's cousin broke into her house and stole 37 guns. Also, I learned my neighbor owned at least 37 guns. 37 in a row. My wife's gay brother is having an affair with his husband's half-sister. The friend that told me also says the half-sister is desperate to get pregnant. This could get interesting. I had to read this real slow. Me too. And then I read it again just to be sure. The best kind of gossip makes you create a family tree inside of your head. And do you have a diagram or anything? This is rather complicated gossip. Hope this helps. If you imagine a crowd chanting "Jerry Jerry" in the background, it becomes a little easier to visualize. My coworker makes $10 an hour, works part-time and pays for her live-in. Still married. Boyfriend's rent and child support cause he's broke. She just found his bank receipt showing $17,000 in his checking account. Was this at least a wake-up call for her? No. Teacher is having an affair with a married security guard. They're not very careful about the flirting though, because most of the 6th graders have figured it out. Can't wait to see what happens. Mrs. Teacher and the security guard were in the closet making babies, and I saw one of the babies and the baby looked at me. Something similar happened when I was in 3rd grade. My teacher, Mrs. W, was married to 6th grade teacher Mr. W, who taught at neighboring school. Well, my teacher would often spend time with the other 3rd grade teacher, Mr. C. One time at lunch I saw them across the courtyard sharing a Diet Coke and what looked like holding hands. Even in my little mind I thought that was weird because I knew Mr. W. They were a well-known couple in our small community. Fast forward in the year, their affection becomes more blatant and it comes out that my teacher left her husband for Mr. C. They got married and had a baby. Later in high school, Mr. W was teaching a class and turns out he never remarried, and I always thought he seemed sad. But I could totally just be making that up in my mind. An ex-friend of mine from high school is now in the middle of the 2nd divorce. Apparently it's because she cheated on her 2nd husband with her now current boyfriend. This is the 2nd time she's cheated on her husband, and I'm curious if she'll marry the current boyfriend and then cheat on him. I hope she cheats on him with her first husband and then marries him again and then cheats on him with number 2 and then her and all the guys realize that the 4 of them belong together. I'm reasonably sure once she gets to her 6th or 7th husband, the others will form a support group. The good news is the husbands don't seem to have to pay alimony very long. Karen from spin class has a new rice cooker. I prefer the Instant Pot myself for the multi-functionality. But good for her. Commenting from my other account. A couple that we have been friends with for a few years now. Both very normal people with vanilla jobs. Took a trip overseas that was supposed to last a week. Not unusual for any of our group of friends. No one had heard from them for close to a month until we found out they've been arrested on the other side of the fucking earth trying to smuggle out close to $1 million for an international drug cartel out of the country they were visiting. When we heard the news we were just sitting there quietly in disbelief for about 5 minutes. Frick. What's going to happen to them? Trial for the woman is on the 6th. Don't know if the guy still be tried on the same day. They're looking at 1 to 3 years in prison as far as we know. This woman I know is dating a very shady guy. She's nearly 40 and desperate. So she overlooks a lot of the red flags. All her friends think he's an asshole. He claims he disappears every now and then because, get this, he works for WikiLeaks. He is married to someone. He claims that they got married only for visa purposes and they only fricked like a few times. He has citizenship now, but they aren't divorced because of some paperwork stuff. Involving, you guessed it, WikiLeaks. He vacillates between having her attend his family events and declaring that he doesn't believe in marriage and kids. Though, of course, he's married already. He recently suggested they be in an open relationship. She has always wanted marriage and kids. So it surprised me she got on board this relatively easily. I suspect it's because she wants to hold on to him. Do you know any other women this desperate and also rich? Thanks for the help. Oddly, I do. They also work really long hours and don't put out much. Though. Guy does anything. Guy, oh it's just because I work for WikiLeaks. Don't worry about it.